Hello everyone, my name is Megan and today I have a writing video for you. So rather than just telling you what those 5 tips I have for writing are, I thought I'd go a little bit more in depth, for those of you that stuck around. So number 1, writing is your personal responsibility. This is very important because no one is going to hold your hand and tell you when you need to write every day or how often to write. You need to pick the time that you want to write, realistically pick the amount of time that you can write a day or a week. I know a lot of people will tell you that you need to write every day, but a lot of people I know will tell you, who are writers, who have written books, will tell you that is highly impractical. They write on a schedule, sometimes they take days off and sometimes they write extra days, but there's always some kind of schedule involved, and it does definitely help with your ability to just put stuff out there. You do have to avoid distractions. They are there. They are the internet as well as everywhere else, and a lot of the times, especially when you're starting out, people aren't going to be very supportive, so you definitely do have to take responsibility for wanting to write and how often you write. Otherwise, you're just always going to say you want to write a book and never actually get to writing a book. For the second point I made, I actually pulled them out of Screenplay by Sid Field. This is as you can see, a foundation to screenwriting, which while I'm not interested in, I'm interested in some of the techniques they use. And the 2 points I made in my second point were all drama is conflict and all characters are their actions. For all drama is conflict, you want to avoid writing something that is petty in the grand scheme of the book. I know I personally have read things that felt so unnecessary in a story. I didn't feel like they drove the story in any way. They were just kind of like there, and that reduces the conflict aspect of the story. You want there to be stakes involved in your conflicts, so you want the drama to have meaning. And the second point is that all characters are their actions. Let's face it, we have all read that story with that female protagonist who is a strong, independent woman who meets a man and suddenly becomes completely helpless. We have all read that. That character is trying to tell you one thing, but all of their actions are telling you something else. And we have all been highly annoyed with that character. So when you're writing your story, remember to think about, is the character portraying the things about them? And if they aren't, is it supposed to be like that? Are you trying to say something with that? If you're trying to portray that strong, independent female protagonist who doesn't need a man, probably don't need to make her completely pathetic once the man does appear. Just say it. Just say it. I'm looking at you, Ito. The third point I made is know your subject. Almost anyone will tell you this. When you are writing a story, you need to know what the hey you are talking about. Remember when Twilight was a big thing being talked about all the time, and one of the things Stephenie Meyer said was she had never read a vampire book, and we were all like, oh, well. Yeah, that is what's going to happen when people realize you haven't researched your topic at all, when you know nothing about it. How can you say that this is this when you have never experienced it? Even if you read all this stuff and decide you don't want to do anything about it, you do need to know what it is you're talking about so that you can deliver it properly within the story. And obviously, you might not be able to experience a zombie apocalypse, which I personally think is a very good thing. I don't know about you Walking Dead fans, but that is not my idea of where I want to be hanging out. But there are plenty of books to there are plenty of books to read, and I mean, let's face it, we all go to the library. Because as much as we are writers, we are readers. For my fourth point, I drew this handy dandy circle, basically saying that all of these minor aspects, the action, the characters, the conflict, scenes, sequences, dialogue, incidents, episode, and events, they all lead up to your story. They are all the parts of your story, and you need to take each of those and work them together so that you have something beautiful and amazing and something that y'all want to read, because that's why we want to write books, so that people will read them. Even if we say we're just writing it for ourselves, we really want people to read them. There are 3 basic sections to a story. You have the setup, this is the beginning, world building, character introduction, all of that. The confrontation, which is pretty much most of the story, and then the resolution, where you resolve this. I do know a lot of ebooks tend to leave off the resolution. They're like, cliffhanger ending! And most important point is point 5, have fun. Yes, I do realize that the balloon I drew was very, very weird, but I'm not an artist. I'm a writer and a reader, and not an artist. Having fun when you're writing is the most important part, because if you do start to feel overwhelmed when you're writing, especially in those first couple novels that you decide to put out, you're just going to stop for long periods of time, and then you're going to forget what you wrote. When sometimes you do need to take a break and, you know, go do something. Go watch a movie, go play a video game, go read a book, get outside maybe, just do something that breaks you from like the pressure of having to write, because at times it does start to feel like pressure, and you know, just have fun while doing it. Alright everyone, that is all I have to say for this week's writing episode. I will be back next week with some brainstorming advice and why brainstorming is actually important when you read. Brainstorming is not too important when you read, but when you write, brainstorming is very important. I will see you next Tuesday with another writing video. Until next time, if you want to check out more of my content, you can click here. And remember to like and subscribe. And until next time, talk to you later.